I think in other communities, I'm not gonna say white, I'm not gonna say whatever. Sure. I think the mentors actually look for mentees. With us, I feel like we're the only ones that are kind of like, we're looking for a mentor, like let me find a mentor, because of the gatekeeping thing going on.
Hey family, welcome to the Do You Know Black Kickback, the after party to the game show, Do You Know Black. I'm your host, Lamont Carolina. Here, we're gonna take questions from the game show, break them down, and have thought-provoking conversations with our guests from their episode. So before we get into these conversations, I wanna take a second to look at how they did in their episode. Let's take a look.
Why for her?
Because she started off the game wrong.
Damn, okay, got it.
I feel good. I mean, it's a great experience. Good luck to you all. I'll see you guys later.
The beer's not strong enough. It's just not tight enough for me. That's it. Get him out of here! Get him out of here!
I came, I saw, I conquered, and I messed up Cynthia Chantel's name twice.
Power to all the people. I am a revolutionary. Can I get a crowd? I am revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. All right, I'm out. Hey.
Berlin, Manila.
I got a lot to talk about. So this show, I heard, could be considered maybe one of the best groups that we've had as a collective. All right, don't give yourselves too many props because some of us were voted off quite early. Let's start to my right. Nice nail game, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, so what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm here with you, enjoying myself, so it's a good day.
Looks like you had a lot of time to think as you were voted off first. Why? What happened? I thought you was gonna be for the long haul.
You know, I thought so too, but then the lights and camera action happened and then everything went blank. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm happy I got that far,
Okay.
to be honest. And I definitely did, you know, learn a lot.
Right. See, Do You Know Black is a great opportunity for us to learn as a people and also for other people who aren't Black to learn about our culture and history. And they also can learn about the art of deception, right? There was something funky happening over here with Jeff. What was going on?
I'm horrible with names. I just couldn't get it right. Cynthia, Chantel, Cynthia. I don't know.
Cynthia. Were y'all sitting next to each other or something?
No.
They were in a close vicinity.
Wait, dude.
It was close enough for me to mess
Were
it
they
up.
wearing the same, you know,
We were not.
the jeans are the same color, maybe that was it?
They don't even look alike, brother.
We do not.
It's the hair, you know, it's the braids.
Chris, do you believe, Jeff, that he in that first round meant to put Cynthia? Chantel versus Cynthia?
I think it was the heat of the moment. He got kind of like, all right, people vote for Chantel. Let's not vote for Chantel this time. Let me vote for Cynthia, throw it off.
Okay.
But then he was like, all right, well, I guess Chantel got 2 votes. Let me now, I'm gonna vote for Chantel too.
Because he knew who was gonna be left, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe?
And maybe they had an alliance. I'm joking.
The face looks like it's not telling the truth. That's all I'm saying.
I'm being honest. I messed up on the names. That's it.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
that's it. I did.
Part of the strategy. Ali, what's up, man? What's going on over there?
Nothing. I'm surprised y'all invited me here. It's nice to me. I don't know nothing about nobody. No, I'm kidding. I know a little something, but I'm just happy to be here, honestly. I'm surprised I made it as far as I did. I kind of just wanted to play the scenes, like let everybody kill themselves.
Stand back.
And stand back and then like maybe attack whoever was winning from there on. But it kind of worked that way, but
What round did you exit?
the second to last. I was me and her left.
Final round.
Oh, okay. How many questions did you get right? How many questions did you?
What? Huh?
Yeah.
It was that bad?
Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
How you talking about you was gonna stand in the back and then come and do your thing when you gotta have
That's what I
ammo?
did. I had got a few right? You feel me?
Yeah.
So like when they got to me, I got what I needed to get right.
Okay.
But I let them bicker and I just like.
He was charismatic. His charisma got him to there.
Okay, all right. Some people on good looks, some people on brain, some people on charisma. Speaking of charisma, what? So you made it to the promised land?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you wagered the
All or nothing. You gotta go big or go home, Whenever you do things, it was all or nothing. And I think that just getting the reaction from the crowd, they were just like, some people were like, no, take what you have. But I think that in life, you gotta go for what you want and not settle. So I was like, let's do it.
Ooh, in life, we've got to go for what we want
want.
and not. Is that a Drake quote?
That's a bar.
It's a bar
from Cynthia's book of
of what?
of
Bars.
Bars.
of bars.
Bars book, Cynthia's book of bars. You know what? All right, bet. Also. Well, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
I think it was awesome. Let's big it up. We are going to now pivot to the discussion topic. Originated during slavery in the US, what phrase describes the responsibility of passing down education to another? The answer is each one, teach one. So I'll start with a question, and I think it's fair if Cynthia maybe takes a stab at this one because
Okay.
you were the winner, you got the juice, you got the, go ahead, Flo Joe. All right. Flo Joe.
Don't do that to
Flo Joe. Throw that in. Yep. All right. Pass. All right. I'm gonna call you Pass. That's your nickname.
I'm gonna call you something else. Don't make me do it. You're like 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. All right. So here it is. Each one, teach one is an African proverb that slaves use to describe their responsibility to teach other slaves about things they learned. As we know, slaves were not viewed as human. With that, they were denied the right to receive education in areas of reading, writing, among other things. Each one, teach one promoted the idea of sharing what you learn for the advancement of all. Is it fair to expect other Black people to share their expertise, time, and resources just because we're part of the same community?
To whom much is given, much is required. I just think that, like when it comes to, can I go biblical too?
You can do whatever you want.
In the Bible, it also says, hold on, let me not mess this up. Without knowledge, my people will surely perish. And I think that in the United States, like a lot of people have not been given the access and the things that they need. And so when you get to a certain level, I think it's your duty to go ahead and give back that access and those resources.
Yeah.
Because that's where the playing field gets leveled. And I think for such a long time, we haven't had that access. But when given that access, I think we surely do excel.
I think it's really important to talk about access. And there are many different types of ways to access.
I think that there, especially now in this modern age, there's a lot of ways to get information, especially through like social media. There's still libraries for those who enjoy reading.
Yeah.
There's still, even like within our own family units, depending on, how you were raised. I know I definitely learn a lot from my family if I need some information. And I also think that even with being here, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
So it's definitely putting yourselves in environments where you can, receive information.
And is it kind of like an obligation for us to pass what we learned down, and do we actually do it?
It's honestly our civic duty as people, because like as a community, we can't move forward unless we like kind of put the ladder back. Because like if you're sitting there like just gatekeeping everything, like I made it this far, I'm doing this, I'm gonna enjoy the fruits of my labor without even like not even like harvesting your fruit and like passing it on so somebody else could grow it and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you doing it if you're not gonna do this for your people that are already like targets of oppression?
That's a good point.
Feel me?
That's a good point. Are there examples of that not happening? Of when we see people like holding the fruit back, even in like today?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Just even as like a photographer, when you reach out to other photographers, especially in New York, I think a lot of people are afraid you might undercut them in terms of like creativity. You might steal their ideas, might go down lower on their rates. So I think some people, they like to hold back and they like to gatekeep and don't want to necessarily share their knowledge to help anyone else sometimes, but it depends on the case by case.
So that's, you raise a really good point, Chris, but before we do that, I'm just curious, are any of us business or entrepreneurs, any of us have worked for their own selves here? Work for themselves? Okay, so with that, Jeff, I'm just curious about that. So we talk about gatekeeping and we talk about Chris's example of saying, all right, well, photographers, like, all right, they hold back their information. Is there a difference between seeking information, seeking advice, mentorship? Are there differences, or is like, F you, pay me.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
I think there's a difference.
Okay.
I feel like, you should definitely try to seek the advice, but, again, a lot of people aren't willing to share the advice because, as he said, they don't want you to, come up over them. They want you to stay below where they are. A lot of people in life, want you to do good, but not better than them.
Ooh. Is that like crabs in a barrel or?
Exactly, crab in a barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody else going up, you do things to pull them down. You don't try to elevate them because you feel like you should be above them.
Ooh, Cynthia, is there enough room? Is there enough room for everybody to eat on the table? Is there enough room? If I help you up, we're gonna eat together.
It is. It's enough room.
Yeah?
I just think that it comes from a scarcity mindset of, not being able to get more or have more or not being able to shine. But at the end of the day, like, there's really room for everybody, and I think the real blessing is helping others. Mm-hmm. So like the more you do for others, the more in return. Like if you have your hands closed, how can you receive anything, So I think it's definitely room for others.
So, all right, that's cool. There's room for others. We've established that and we'll come back to that. So there's room for others. We see that each one teach one was, African proverb. Decades later, centuries later, here we are 400 years later, and we're like, yo, it's enough room, but not enough people here. Where did that start? Where did it, from where we were at each one teach one to like, man, nah, son, doors closed. Like, where did that start in our history here?
That's hard to say.
It really is.
Yeah, there's, so much thing has happened, for our culture and our people. Mm-hmm. It's hard to really define like, okay, this started here, this started there. For instance, the phrase, each one teach one, where did it come from? Which part of Africa, which tribe, which country came up with it? We don't know, because in a sense, not in a sense, we are lost. A lot of us are still trying to find ourselves.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't think that we're lost per se. I think we're actually blinded, and information has been held from us for forever. See what I'm saying? So like things like tokenism happen where like one person is elevated and given more status just because of they're from that group or from that diaspora. And like now we're seeing that token as our enemy, but that person that is the token is still seen as like lower than by the people above them. See what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a vicious cycle, which is like, it's a system created and put in place to actually like keep us all crabs in the barrel.
Yeah, no, I
You know what I'm saying?
think it can be a class, it can be a generational wealth. There's a book, I forgot what it's called, but it's by this guy, of course.
This guy in this place, I know.
Is it Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No. It's it's called Our Kind of People. So Our Kind of People is a book from, I believe the author is from Westchester, New York, but it's about classism in the Black community in terms of like wealth, colorism, Divine Nine as well, the brown paper bag test. So those are all things that divide us. So, things change since, the house slave and the field slave, things change since the beginning. And I don't want to say it's like a color thing, because I don't think it's not, but I think it is a class thing in terms of like, who do you know? Did you go to the right school? Would you go to the right HBCU? Did you go to the right, predominantly white institution? All right, who does your dad know? Who's your mom know? And even still like that now, even for my company, we get internships. It's not really what you know. I mean, your GPA matters a little bit, but who do you know that works for this company that can get you in here?
Yeah.
So so I just want to go back to saying like, I do think it's a class, it's a generational wealth. I think those are all things that divides us.
It shouldn't be.
But go ahead.
No, please.
But just to piggyback off of him in terms of like getting into these spaces with the who you know, we talk about this process of it being a very small percentage of who is even in the seat to begin with. So each one teach one is super important when it comes to that, because it's like, if there are only 3 Black executive seats and they have to know somebody to get in, you got to think about how small that window of opportunity becomes for Black and brown.
Yeah, then it becomes like he said, it's like, all right, there's 3 executive seats and I went to this school, I'm part of this group of people, I'm part of this organization, and like I'm only gonna pick, or I'm channeled into looking for Black people that are part of this organization that went to this school. Like, how many people is that? That's like 3 people.
Right.
So it's like, it defeats the whole purpose of each one teach one at that point.
But also, are we focusing on the right thing when we think about Blacks in leadership positions? in these corporations? Is it we're putting a black face in a high place? Because I know all black folk ain't kinfolk, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right?
That's the issue, is that we've been so divided for so long. And I think that we become what we see. And so if we have the media that shows us a certain standard of beauty, or we don't see ourselves represented well, and only a certain elite or type of person gets to excel to the top, it's like, that brings about that crab in a barrel mentality. But I think that it's important for us to band together as a group and to just really try to excel as a group, because there is enough space and there is enough for everyone to come together and to be Black excellence.
And what I do like that what we're doing now is we're unlearning a lot of stuff that was embedded into us for many, many decades. And I like that we are slowly but surely pulling ourselves out of that.
You know, I like the rebuttal on this one, because I think, you know, we're not lost. Sometimes, the flashlight, the battery runs out.
He's right.
Right? But but I think you're also right as well, right? Where we are lost in terms of like our history doesn't start in America. It doesn't start at the first ship that came over. Our history starts well beyond that, well before that, I'm sorry. Have you been denied an opportunity, or have you been denied help from a Black person who you knew had the capacity to help you?
I feel like I've been blessed enough with the people around me where I haven't yet received that type of energy, which is great. Now with our generation, it's slowly opening up to where everybody is willing to help each other. And we're more willing to be, supporting Black-owned businesses and stuff like that. So we're slowly opening up so everybody will eat at this table eventually. Hopefully sooner than later.
Hopefully sooner than later?
Yes, hopefully.
Social media has played a big role in just being able to have access and to view certain things. So even with the George Floyd situation, I know that there was a lot of attention from corporate America.
Yeah.
That was like, we gotta give money back to the Black community. There's been an injustice, but I mean, this has been going on for a while. But for them, that was like, we absolutely have to focus in and do better for the Black and brown community. So I think just being aware has brought, the social media these day and age has brought more attention to, putting a spotlight on creating spaces for Black and brown people. So I think there has been a change.
Well, you've got to remember, let's go back to the 60s, right? During this civil rights struggle. And I mean, we're still fighting for our civil rights to this very day. But back when our ancestors, were being mistreated because of segregation, they were like, you know what, we're gonna boycott Woolworth. We're gonna boycott this department store. We're gonna boycott the bus system. And what ended up happening was that money had to be spent somewhere, because you had to still buy stuff. So they started to buy Black. They stopped riding the buses. So they had brothers and sisters who had cars drive people in caravans down bus routes, right? So the dollar went just simply from one place to another. That's a form of cooperation right there. That's a form of each one teach one, and an advanced form of it.
I think sometimes it has to take this big moment of injustice for people to band together. Like, this is wrong. We need to come together. We need to build our community.
Why
Why
is that?
I really don't know why it takes a tragedy for somebody, like, people say, I don't ever see my family until it's a funeral or wedding. Like, why does it have to be that big? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we just hey, like, there's a birth in the family. Like, let's make sure this child that's just born has a path that's set for them. And not even set, or like a path that's kind of like fortified for them so they can succeed. They don't have any outside forces trying to hinder them from being the best they can be.
All right, anyone else have an opportunity to share where you were denied help? I
was denied help by a food photographer. I think that, she left me on red. I thought I was real detailed, like, this is what I do. I showed her my work, showed that I was serious, and not necessarily even looking for compensation, more just let me help you out, let me learn from you. And so there have been many photographers who have Black photographers who have helped me because I showed them my work. I think that's very important, that people will take you seriously when you take yourself seriously. So you can't just hey, I want to do this, but you're not what are you doing? Are you? And so even for me, if any young Black photographer wants me to help them out, I'm always willing to help out, always willing to give my knowledge, always willing to show you how to use a camera, lending you my camera if you want to learn how to shoot. I'm definitely always open to that, but I'm really big on what work are you doing? I'm not expecting you to be a fashion photographer off, like, not expecting that, but I'm expecting you to at least care, like care about the work that you're doing if you want help from someone that's like higher than you, I guess you would say.
So you're saying, good point. So you're saying basically like, there's a difference between you having a camera and saying, hey, can you show me how to do this thing that I saw you do really well, versus you don't have a camera, you're like, yo, I'm trying to be a photographer.
I mean, you know, you might be serious, but I can't take you seriously. So it's like, you can buy even a $100 camera, like, you know what I mean? At least you're putting in the work. Like, obviously cameras are expensive. I'm not expecting you to spend $1,000, $2,000. Like, this is just me personally.
Right.
I'm not expecting anyone to spend that much money, but if you show that you really are trying, you are like, you're doing your own due diligence, doing your own research, going on YouTube, just learning a little bit.
Right.
That's what that's what I'm looking for.
Jeff, Cynthia, tell me what you think of these 3 phrases that I'm gonna say to you, okay? Help me out, hook me up, show me how.
Can you repeat them?
Absolutely. Help me out, hook me up, show me how.
2 of them come from like a give me. And I think another one of them comes from like what you were saying. Basically, I'm coming with something. I already have done the research. I'm excited about this. Show me the steps or the blueprint, but help me out. And what was the
Hook me up.
And hook me up just sounds like
Give me something.
give me. But show me how seems like you're willing to learn the process and you can take it from there. I think that's the difference. Like you were saying, the show me how is, hey, this is something I've already done my research. I'm interested. I just need you to give me the blueprint, give me what you can. I don't need a lot, but like I'm excited about it and I want to learn. And I think that's the important attitude to have.
To me, I think that's 3 different stages, not stages in life per se. Like I think there's 3 different places that people could be at. Like somebody says, hook me up. It's like I'm drowning. Like when somebody's drowning in the water, they're not gonna be like, can you teach me to swim right now? They're not gonna say that. They're like, get me out the water. Like that's the kind of hook me up to me. You see what I'm saying? So it's like maybe they're not in a space to be like, teach me. Like they don't have their bearings right there and then. They be like, oh, teach me how to do this. They say hook me up because they really need the hook up right there
Or
and
help
then.
me out.
See what I'm saying? Like help me out, whatever it is. Like that's different. Like there's degrees to it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And somebody says help me out, they probably got their bearings together, they got the camera, whatever have you, right? When somebody saying hook me up, they're probably like, this is the only thing I know how to do. I don't have a camera, and I'm on my last month rent. Hook me up. Feel what I'm saying?
And I think that's important because it's like, we could have grace for every single one of those stages. In my mind, I automatically went to somebody needing a handout, like, I don't wanna work, but you're right. Everybody's environment, everybody's season is different. So they may be needing something from that.
Y'all raise a really good point. Do we feel like that's the case when we hear the term hook me up? Is it more of the negative connotation or the positive?
I feel like it has more, well, for me personally, I find it to have more of a negative connotation around it. And hook me up almost seems like give me what I need. Thank you, that's it. As opposed to teach me, I want to learn. I want to actually, embrace what I'm learning and then, use that to further myself.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you're also looking for a discount. Like that's basically just what you want. Sometimes just like, yeah, hook me up, bro. Like you want the homie discount. And so I knew you for a while. Like look out for me, bro.
So, I mean, we're going all over the place. I wanted to ask y'all, so no one here has been hooked up before, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
We wouldn't be here if we weren't hooked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's be real.
So you took something and ran. So it looked like, and it sounded what we just said here, that, once you get a hookup, you just leave and walk away. So have you been hooked up and not walked away? Was it reciprocated?
So with me, I'm very big on reciprocation, you know what I'm saying? So, at certain points in my life, I've needed help, from family or whomever, you know what I'm saying? So at that very moment, I may not have it to give back to you, you know what I'm saying? But I try my best to never forget it, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, when it comes to a point where I'm able to, I give you back something, whether it's help, money, or whatever the case may be, but I don't forget what you did for me at that time when I needed the hookup.
Yep. So what do you do if you don't have the resources to pay for something? You talked about business. You talked about folks wanting to hook up, right? Oh, let me get the homie discount. But what if someone doesn't have the resources to pay? Is it a turn away? Do we just deny folks for whatever it is, if it's the business or if it's in other areas of life?
Well, I think it can be a trade. Like you can volunteer services. She does catering. Like, all right, like, hey, can you cater for me? I don't have this much money, but the next event I can come assist you. I can move the food around or help you serve. So I think it's all about how you stage and how you present yourself to the business owner. You might not have all of it right now, but don't just be like, all right, this is a one and done. Try to find a way to help them out in the future.
Sure.
I think in society we got to a point where like we always expect something back. And I'm not gonna sit here and try to front like I'm not guilty of it. Like, yeah, I want my pieces too. But it's like, you can't always say, I need something back. That's what I'm saying? Like, if it's your people, this is your brother, this is whoever, this is your sister, this is your cousin, right? And they're inspiring photographer or whoever they are, they're inspiring caterer, and they're coming up. But you shouldn't always expect, I need something back. Like, so just do it.
We're talking in the vein a lot about kind of like services. I want to talk a little bit more about education and keeping in the vein of each one teach one, right? And handing down knowledge, right? Because remember, we're talking about our brothers and sisters, our ancestors were, enslaved and they had to pass knowledge down. They didn't have TikTok or Google Docs, right? They could, like, oh, yo, go in the folder, go in the drive, and you're gonna find the folder. That's where all the alphabets are. No, they had to hand it down. I want to talk in that same, using that, energy, mentorship. So all the professions and businesses and the things that we just discussed, people get there through mentorship sometimes, right? And that's a super important part of anyone's growth and development. We know white people have mentors out the gazoo, right? And as Black folk, it tends to be a little bit different, right? Not for all of us, but for a lot of us and how we view internships. A good example would be even, I talk to folks a lot in coffees, right? Talking about, going to grab coffee. I had a group of Black folks who I mentored and I'm like, you should go for coffees with your colleagues because you're gonna get to know them better and you're gonna have access to opportunities and projects that you otherwise wouldn't. And the response from all of them was, I don't drink coffee. I had to explain literally like going out for coffee means like I've gone out for coffee and have never drank coffee. We walked around our work and just talked about certain things. So I ask y'all, present this question here. What is the value of Black mentorship for Black mentees?
It's imperative. But I think, again, I don't want to try to take the spotlight too much, but like, I think in other communities, I'm not gonna say white, I'm not gonna say whatever. Sure. I think the mentors actually look for mentees. And with us, I feel like we're the only ones that are kind of like, we're looking for mentors, like let me find a mentor, because of the gatekeeping thing going on. See what I'm saying? So I feel like it's imperative, we need it. It's like, I don't think as a people, we can't move forward, we can't do anything unless we kind of like huddle up and keep it cold.
It has to be intentional. And I think that sometimes people are looking for a blueprint. So you may be really busy. Like the person that you reached out to may be really swamped in that season. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like having these pipeline programs where like you automatically, say you go to an HBCU and you have a pipeline program up to like Sony Music or something like that, like an entertainment company. You have access to young students who are trying to be in the music industry, and then you have the Black executives that are trying to mentor. Like it has to be intentional. Sure. And I think there's one out called Diverse Representation that is starting pipeline programs for sports, music, and all these places that need diversity. Because even in entertainment, I don't see a lot of me in the corporate spaces for entertainment, and so it's a problem. Yeah. And it's like if you only have 3 Black executives out of the 100 that are in the building, the mentorship is going to be few and far in between. It's that it's that gatekeeping. Like, how can I bring in more Black people if there's no knowledge of that this even exists? And that's how it was for me. But yeah, I think it needs to be intentional, and there needs to be. I want to propose another question here because I think it's important for our viewers to understand this as well. When we talk about mentorship, not intern. We're not trying to we want to get paid. When we talk about mentorship, how important is it to have a Black mentor as a Black mentee versus a white? And should we only be looking for Black mentors?
I talk too much, bro. No, I talk a lot myself.
And when I say white, I just mean non-Black, I should say.
Yeah, no. So I always I'm always a big advocate for Black therapists, just Black resources first. But I also don't think also very important not to cut your blessings because you can't find a Black mentor immediately. There's someone who's Asian, Hispanic, white, who or Native American, whoever is willing to teach you something. Yeah. Like don't throw the opportunity away because you just never know what he or she can teach you.
That's a fact. And you can go around and then you can be that Black
Exactly.
mentor that you did not find. Like, all right, cool, I can't find a black mentor. I get who I can, but let me be that person.
Yeah.
Let me stop gatekeeping and give to my next person.
Sure.
Exactly.
For our viewers, is there any advice that you all can give in terms of if someone wants to be a mentor, but maybe they don't have enough time, right? It's not that they want to hold people back, but maybe they don't have enough time to give to be a mentor or an official mentor, right? Any advice on how they can still help and contribute in the areas that they're experts in?
Refer them to somebody else. So you don't have the time, there's a strong chance that you know somebody else.
That's real.
So just say, hey, I'm busy right now, but such and such probably could help you out.
Are mentor relationships straight like transactional? Or is this like, oh, I meet you for an hour each day or each week or whatever? How do mentorships work?
I think that's a continuous thing. I don't think it should just stop at, you give me what I need and we, stop communicating, As you mentor somebody, I think it's important to check in on that person and that person as well, hey, I'm reaching this level with what you taught me so far. I've come this far since where you taught. It's always good to look back, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Y'all were awesome. Hot fire. All right. I'd also love to thank our viewers out there for watching. Thank y'all. And please make sure you engage with us. Like, comment, subscribe, all right? And make sure you follow us on Instagram at DoYouKnowBlack. All right, with that, I wanna thank you. My name is Lamont Carolina, and this has been the Do You Know Black Kickback. Boom, we'll see you next time. Good job, y'all. Nice.